I hated primary school. I got in trouble, I got in fights, and when I was 6 years old, I was asked nicely to leave. So it seems ironic that after finishing high school, that I became, of all things, a primary school teacher. But guess what? I hated that too. Well, not really, but I hated feeling like I was always telling the same kids off and seeing them get into trouble, just as I once had. Like, Kevin, are you listening? So, Kevin, why did you think it would be a good idea to cut his hair? Kevin, put the hamster down. Gently. Surely, if you're constantly being told off, you must hate your teachers, right? Well, past research shows that teachers prefer well-behaved students. So that was strike one for me. Past research also shows that teachers form better relationships with girls than with boys. Strike two. But how do these kids feel about their teachers? In my research, I asked them. But they told me things like, my teacher is kind, she is pretty, my teacher has brown hair. Now, I couldn't write a thesis about that, so I needed a new approach. I asked kindergarten students to draw themselves with their teachers. It turns out children's drawings of relationships are actually quite sophisticated. You can analyse them for things like pride and happiness, vulnerability, or tension and anger. When I analysed these drawings, all 208 of them, I found that disruptive students viewed their relationships with teachers in pretty similar ways to well-behaved kids. And this is great news. Even though they're getting told off a lot, they still see their teachers in positive ways. There was, however, some bad news too. Regardless of behaviour, boys' drawings showed they perceived poorer relationships with their teachers than did girls. But hang on, aren't boys also more disruptive than girls? What does this all mean, right? Well, my research shows that right from the very beginning of school, all boys, whether they're well-behaved or a pain in the neck, are at risk of poorer relationships with their teachers. Now, if that's the student's fault, then maybe girls are just naturally better at relationship stuff. But if it's the teacher's fault, then maybe teachers treat boys and girls very differently. Although we'd need further research to find out, it just might be that answers to other questions like why boys are more likely to drop out of high school might lie somewhere in these drawings by kindergarten students. Thank you.